It's now time for NRG This Week. NRG stands for Network Referral Group. To learn more about NRG, go to their website, nrg.online. It's now time for another episode of NRG This Week.
Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. This is Mike Weiner, CEO of NRG, with another episode of NRG This Week. I got to tell you, things are off the cuff. We've launched the Mike and Lori show. That's doing really well. We've had a lot of new members coming in, and it's just been busy. And, you know, we have a lot of members coming in from other organizations. Some of them come to me and they go, hey, Mike, I just joined 1, 2, 3 other networking groups. I wasn't planning on joining your organization, but they do because they're getting referrals. So if you're out there, if you're in another organization, you're not getting what you need, or you're brand new to networking, I have been doing this. I'm in my 26th year. I'm kind of like the Cal Ripken of networking. Show up every day, big smile, big heart. We're all about law of attraction, and we have got things on a tear. New people are coming in. My big thing is impacting people, helping them network, helping them connect. As a guest at a meeting, you get 3 referrals. Once you join, you're going to get 30. Who's doing that? Mike Weiner's doing that. I'll tell you who's doing that. So we have a lot of fun. If you want to reach out to me, a couple different ways. Cell number is the best. A text is even better. 443-756. 9656. It's right there on the screen. My email is mike@networkreferralgroup.com, and the website is nrg.online. So I'm excited today. We have got a gentleman that I met. It's been almost 7 weeks now, and I remember when he came to his first meeting, I'm like, this guy's amazing. So he goes, I'm going to be going on a retreat. When I get back, I promise I'm going to join. True to his word, he joined, and he's become one of my favorite people, not just in NRG, but in life. So I want to bring Pastor Gabe out. I always say Studio 54 to keep disco music alive. And so Pastor Gabe Self, it is so great to have you out here. We are going to have a lot of fun. We're going to rock the house. But let me ask you, first of all, we're on Wednesday. What is this, May 6th? Time's flying, 2026. How are you doing today, first of all?
I'm doing blessed and highly favored, sitting here just praying that the lights don't go out, because there is a huge thunderstorm here right now. And they're closing down schools. So we're going to make it through this. But, hey, I got everything I need here, and I've got cable. I got internet and everything with you right now. So it's great.
There you go. There you go. Well, you and I have hit it off and continue to hit it off, and you've got a motivational way about you. We'll talk about that in a minute, but take 2 minutes. I know you're a pastor. You do a lot of different things. Your main business now. Take 2-3 minutes. What are you focused on right now? And then we'll go from there. But tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now, Gabe.
Absolutely. So money ministry, that's what we do. So it's really fun to be able to help people, right? I think being in ministry, we want to be able to help everybody. And what's cool is we can sit down with different people and educate them. I think I don't like people to make decisions for me. I like people to inform me, right? And so I want to inform people so they can understand all the options they have, so that when they make a financial decision, it's one that they know that they are excited about, that they trust the process, and it's going to get them to their goal. So we just educate people, and I think that is the correct way to go about it. And so I love what we do because we have a lot of things in our back pocket. So we're actually help them learn it, but then actually put it into practice as well. And we have tools to help them get out of debt, get retired and stay retired. plan for their kids' future, right? So we've got a lot of things that I know that our whole family uses. And I just enjoy being able to converse with people, fellowship. And people always ask, because you guys are ministry, right? Do they have to be a Christian? Absolutely not. The Christ-like aspect goes to the way that we act and treat people. So if Christ-like means you help everybody, you go to the woman at the well, right? Like you help everyone. So we don't care about what faith our clients have. We use that to enact our integrity on how we treat people, which is kind, thoughtful, and patient. That's how we act toward all of our clients, and that's why we have so many referrals from our current clients.
It's funny you were talking about religion there, and I think I told you, well, I got married 6 months ago, and being Jewish and Tanya being Christian, we had a cantor and a minister, and they got along great. And I said to you, well, we didn't have a pastor, so Pastor Gabe, you're my favorite pastor. We've been working more through business. I didn't have the honor of having you there at the wedding, but it's pretty interesting. We're all here on earth. God doesn't make any junk. I believe that, and I think one of my gifts is seeing people, figuring them out, and empowering them and getting them to the next level. And I think you would agree. We've got a financial pandemic going on in this world. 90% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. They don't have savings. I think you'd agree. It would be nice if this stuff was taught in the school, but you and I know it's not going to be there. So it's really comforting for me knowing someone like you is out there and impacting lives. And that's what NRG does with all the access to the networking. So give us an example of one of your clients and their success, whether you helped them double their income, retire, get out of debt. I think it's important and by the way, we're live with this and we're taping it. So someone could see this, Gabe, in an hour, in a week, in a month, in the year 2035. It's there. They could see it on Mars. We should put it in a time capsule and ship it to Mars, because you and I know there's life out there somewhere, but we won't go over that. Give us an example of how you've helped a client, obviously without mentioning their name, getting out of debt, doubling their income. Absolutely. Give us an example. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd say the biggest one is I had an individual. He had recently gone through a divorce, and they were going to have to, due to medical debt, file for bankruptcy, right? We all know statistically, when you lose a kid, marriages often don't survive that. And so not only are we counseling him therapy-wise, just mentally and emotionally, and he's part of our network when it comes to church, but he needed to be able to recover financially from those things. And that's just not a conversation about money. That's a conversation about healing, right? You've lost your child. Now you've lost your marriage. You've lost your home. So we worked with him and were able to get him refocused on what he has control of, right? It's not about making more money. It's about how are we stewarding what we have now. And when we looked at his finances, we realized he was paying way too much money for certain bills. And so we were able to help him, because I'll get on the phone with you. Like, we'll call your provider, whatever it is, and we'll get your bill dropped, and we'll have these conversations. Like, it's not like we say, like, hey, Mike, go figure this out because you're paying too much for it. No. Do you want to continue to pay this? We always ask permission. Or would you like me to work with you to talk to your provider to see what we can get you? And so we were able to get him $130 less on his phone bill. Same plan, same everything, right? Same amount of service, and able to get him $130 savings every month. Well, he absolutely did not have any health insurance. And so he was paying out of pocket for several things that he needed every week, about $400. And wow. So when we were able to take that $130 and turn that $130 savings into his healthcare plan, that's all it cost for him, $130 for the healthcare plan we had for him, gave him way more coverage than anything else he was finding out there, and then covered the $400 he was spending every month on the treatments and things that he needed. So $400 a week back in his pocket. And guess what that was? He now is out of the men's shelter because he's able to take that $400 a month and afford rent, which means now he gets to fight for more custody of his kids. Because when you're living in a shelter or you're living in a ministry home, and you're living in a men's ministry home specifically, they do not allow children in there, right? Women's homes are allow women and children, but even if you're married, the husbands have to stay separate due to safety for the children and the women. So he wasn't allowed to bring his kids back there. So we got this man a home back with his children, made sure that he has health care now, and he's able to, all from saving $130 on his phone bill. It trickled down into changing his life. So that's the power of what we do. Is we're not concerned with how much money you will make. We are concerned with, what are your goals? His goal was to see his kids more often. His goal was to have a home. We got him there.
Gabe, as you're talking, I'm thinking, we have the NRG University. I know you're new with NRG. I'm not sure if you've looked at it. There's about 9 videos, mostly myself and Dr. Raj. We got to get you with Leon here. You'll come here, same studio. You cut some videos, educational, informational. We've got about 9. I'd like to have 100 by the end of the year, but I could see new members coming there, going to the university and seeing, it's right on the NRG website, seeing some videos by you. So I will have Tanya introduce you and Leon by email, and we'll definitely make that happen.
Yes, sir.
I've added 2 questions I just thought about. I'm going to ask you both of them now, and you can answer however you want. How has being a minister helped you in business? And the flip it, how has business helped you with being a minister? I think they're really cool questions, because it may be the same answer, it may be different, but let's start with, how has a minister helped you? I think you are the coolest guy. I really do. Lori and I love you. I can't wait for you to come to Maryland. I don't know about going to see the Orioles. They're terrible. They've lost 5 of the last 6. I'm upset. My voice is coming back. I'm really upset. They're in 4th place. They're like 9 games behind the dreaded Yankees. We'll talk about that at the end. We are going to talk sports at the end, but how has being a minister helped you in business, and how has being in business helped you be? And I know your family's run how many businesses? 70?
Quite, no, about half that much.
About 30 some.
Yeah,
I know that. So,
but I don't think there's a separation for me. I was raised as an entrepreneur household, as a Christian household. I was very much taught since day one, how to speak to people, how to love on people, how to pray for people. It's not, being a Christian isn't who I am, right? Like it's not a title. It's actually whose I am. Like I want to always be Christ-like in everything that I do. So I got called into ministry, right? It's not like everything I was already doing was already Christ-like in the sense of how I run things, how I speak to people, how I treat someone. I think I learned a lot from my grandfather. And my grandfather was smart enough to teach me, even at a young age, what he thought. I was never spoken to like a child. I was the only for 5 years. So my mom spoke to me like an adult. My grandparents spoke to me like an adult. So when I was, 3-4 years old, sitting in actual business meetings, talking about our trucking company, right? And learning how to read a map for the coal to go from Birmingham to Phoenix, Arizona, getting on the truck routes, learning how to read a map and measure mileage with your thumb based off of the bottom of the map, and getting the mileage, and knowing how to write down your log for mileage. And so going on construction sites or going in the office, I knew how to sit down and write paperwork. By the time I was in kindergarten, I could read and write very well, including cursive. And so I grew up just being like the little assistant, and my grandfather took me everywhere. And so I didn't understand the difference between me and another kindergartner. I'm like, why does this kid need help with their zipper? Like, you can't tie your own shoe. I don't understand. Like, who taught you these things, right? Because I had been so used to being in the work world. But my grandfather always slowed down enough to say, hey, who's the most powerful person in the room? And I said, I don't know. He goes, most people will assume it's the person who makes the most money or their title. He goes, but the most important person in the room who actually does all the work, he goes, that's your janitor. That's your secretary. That's the person who actually makes this company run. He goes, nobody wants to come in here if it's not clean. He said, so you make sure you know every single person's name that ever works for you. You call them by name. When they enter into a room, you acknowledge their presence and you make them feel wanted and special. If they come into a business meeting and they're getting the trash, they don't need to be like, oh, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Be like, hey, no, do you want some snacks on the table? Like, and you call them by their name and make eye contact with them. That 45-second interruption is not going to ruin your business meeting. But what it will do is make that person understand that they are part of the success of the company. So everybody has a part. You should know everybody that works for you and with you. You should treat them as such, because if your office isn't clean, no client wants to come in there, right? If your staff isn't friendly, though, your secretary can ruin your business. Right? If they don't feel valued, then every time they pick up the phone and they're not transferring it correctly, or they sound rude, no one wants to talk to your company, because that person is frustrating or arrogant or whatever. So you want to make sure that whoever works with you and for you represents you. And for me, it was just an easy translation of, like, when I got called into ministry, nothing really changed. I kept operating very Christ-like, which was treating people with respect, making sure everyone feels seen, making sure that I always go in the door and serve. If you have the highest title, it means you show up early and you leave late, because you're there serving the people who show up. But your secretary and your other people should make sure you bring them coffee sometimes, and you do those little things so that they feel appreciated, because it's never a title. Everyone's got to have that respect. And I think that's what sets us apart as a family-owned Christian company. Is I've been taught that everyone matters. And if I were to ever dare disrespect anybody for any reason, my mom or grandfather would have definitely brought down heaven on top of my head, and it would not have been very comfortable.
Your grandfather, I would have loved to have met your grandfather. Very smart man and old school. Today, we got AI, we got technology, we got Zoom. And sometimes, with NRG, I've talked about the family atmosphere every meeting, to make people feel important and empowered. And I think sometimes in corporate America, it gets away. It's about profit and revenue. And Janet Jackson song, "What have you done for me lately?" When I was in sales, selling office equipment, that's kind of what happened. They were like, "All right, you did great last month, but that doesn't matter. We're in a new month. We're 7 days in. What have you done?" So I appreciate it. Going to have one more question for you, and then we're going to take a commercial break.
Yes, sir.
And I always like to do this question right before the break. you and I met. You joined, I think it was a midweek, about Wednesday, started coming to meetings.
Yes, sir.
And I said to Lori, this guy is special. I remember talking to Tanya, my wife, at dinner. I'm like, we got this guy, Pastor Gabe, so cool. And you're speaking at a meeting one day, and I go, would you like to be my CMO? And you're like, what's that? And I'm like, my chief motivational. As I'm saying chief motivational officer, your head was already saying yes. You're like, yes. And every time you talk and you do your testimony on NRG, and you can feel my vibration right now, you resonate positivity and law of attraction and abundance and all these things. Gabe, I've had 3 members recently, 3 prospects that I did not bring in. They weren't ready. I don't care about the 950 for the 30 referrals. If they're not going to fit into the family, I'm not going to bring them in. Right. They're going to have to sell themselves on why. I've had 3 now. So, when I bring people in, I try, and people can fool you. Once in a while, I'll get fooled. But for the most part, I got a pretty good judge of character. Yeah. What's your NRG testimony? You're now my CMO. I've got some ideas for you. And we've got a chief love officer, a chief inspirational officer, a chief gratitude officer. We're building this team out. What is your NRG? We'll give you 3 minutes on this one. Right, what's your NRG, 3-4 minutes, your NRG testimonial? When you're done, we'll take a commercial break. But I really want, if you're watching this right now and you're doing something else, stop. Listen to Gabe. I want you to focus. And Gabe, it's all you. I love your answer every time. You do a great job. And, your grandfather was saying we're all ambassadors of each other. That's my lingo. And we are with NRG. So I'm going to let you share your testimonial. Thank you.
Yeah. Definitely he was Navy. So definitely I got raised like I was in the military, definitely had that training. But because of that, having such a unique experience, I've been in business meetings my whole entire life. And my mom was a very successful businesswoman as well, running companies her own way. And my grandmother used to say, I don't know where she came from. And I was like, she acts just like Papa. She was like, yeah, whatever. So I had a powerhouse of business people, and my grandmother, my mom, and my grandfather, all very, very knowledgeable. And I've been to meetings with them. And back then they didn't really have networking groups. They would have just like open coffee. But as an adult, for about 20 years, I've been going to BNIs. I've been going to chamber meetings, and you go in there and everyone's trying to figure out who you are and what your title is, right? It's almost like a net worth kind of game, right? Like, I want to expand my net worth. Yeah. And it's with my network. And so I want to know what you do. Like, how powerful are you? And so people always want to know, like, who's in your back pocket and who do you know? And they want the 6 degrees of separation. And it's always like they're trying to work you for an angle, not get to know you, not get to know your business, not be in a communal relationship where, like, you come to me for this and I automatically send you back to company for this, and they come to you for this, and it's not where we actually work together, because we can serve the same clients in different ways, and they don't want to. It's not like they want to see your business thrive. It's like they want to take everything you've worked hard for, all your connections, and then use it to get ahead. And I didn't really like that because of the family I come from, the success I come from, not only family-wise but individually. I'm very careful not to use my family name, right? I'm very careful not to let people know who I am. I very much downplay any success or titles I've ever had in life. Hence why I go by Pastor Gabe and not Dr. Self. I very much don't tell people, because I don't want someone utilizing me. And when I got into NRG, 100% wrecked me. Not at all the environment I've ever been in. People were genuine. People were kind. People are sending me referrals. People are following up with me, wanting to make sure I'm succeeding, wanting to put my name in rooms I've never been in. Completely a 360, because it's not a 180, it's not a flip, it was a whole thing, because you're still in networking, but it's like you almost open a new networking door, how it's supposed to work, how you hoped it worked. And I'm tired of driving somewhere and spending an hour and getting nothing out of it. It's a waste of my time, and I should be doing other things with that. So now I can log on to anywhere in the country and talk to people and help people and actually get my time back. When I'm in an NRG meeting, I'm actually getting ahead in business. I'm not sacrificing time away from my business.
I love it. Thank you for that. That was amazing. I do want to recognize Leon Thomas. I usually do this together. He is very involved with racquetball for kids, I think from like 8 to 60. It's racquetballrevival.com. Do want to give a shout out to Leon, and the Leon Thomas group also produced Tanya and my video. They did the whole wedding. It was kind of like a pregame, Gabe, and then the wedding itself, and after the ceremony. So I tell you what, Gabe, it's been a pleasure talking. We are going to take a commercial break, and when we get back, we're going to talk about a few more things. We are going to get into sports a little bit. I know you're a former professional. We're going to dig in. We're going to talk about your favorite sports team. It's okay if it's not the Orioles or the Ravens. We'll continue on. But Ted, we're going to take a break. We will be right back after this commercial break.
At Rod's Car Repairs, we work on all cars, old cars, new cars, and your car. Car Repairs by Rod.io.
Baked by Brianna has been your Baltimore hometown bakery since 1969. Located in Roxton Plaza, Baked by Brianna. Visit bakedbybrianna.io.
From the creative team that brought you The Browning Project and Dead by Morning comes a new thriller that will change the way you look at white-collar crime forever. Falling from the Sky.
Water. It's everywhere. We drink it, we bathe with it, we cook with it. Coffee's made with water. Toilets won't flush without it. It's used for washing clothes, dishes, utensils, pots, pans, floors, and our teeth. Plants and crops need water, animals drink it, and fish need it too. And don't forget, we can have a lot of fun in the water. Water. What would we do without it?
I'm Leon Thomas with the Leon Thomas Group. Podcast, virtual events, webinars, streaming shows, and so much more. We want to be your partner in all things virtual.
Mike Weiner back here talking with Pastor Gabe, having a great time. So, about two more questions for you. What have I not asked you that 2-3 minutes? What have I not asked you at this point that you would like to talk about?
I think it's really cool to have a niche, right? That's something that you've taught me is, yes, I can.
I'm sorry. Excuse me for interrupting. Mike, I think we lost your camera connection.
Oh, we lost camera connection.
Because when we came back, I only saw Gabe. Did you see Mike at all, Gabe?
I did not see Mike pop up. No, sir.
I don't know what happened. You guys can hear me?
Yes. Your camera on at the bottom of the screen?
I usually unplug something on the side. That's never happened.
Check. Okay, Gabe, go ahead and talk. Well, there you go. We're on camera, though.
Yeah, let me unplug something and get it straight. Give me 1 second. Technical issues in Studio 54. Technical issues, Studio 54.
Gabe, go ahead. Just continue talking, and then hopefully Mike will be able to get this straightened out. Okay.
Absolutely. So one of the things that Mike has taught me in some of the classes that we've taken in NRG is be more specific. And so, yes, I can help people, and we definitely help young people 21 to 25 figure out how to pay bills. We teach people, 35 to 55 how to be on track for retirement. We teach people, 59 and a half up how to stay retired. So, but one of the things I'm concentrating on this summer is definitely helping 1099, because we're going to help them be able to see what their life insurance is, their retirement accounts, their health care, actually help them be able to never need to GoFundMe, have the money they need, and not stress out if they were to get sick, how they're able to pay for their bills. And so we're able to help people have a plan together, whether they're a 1099 person or they're a business owner who's 1099. We're able to give them some quick solutions and be basically their whole HR department for themselves and their whole entire team. And that takes a lot of stress off of them because it doesn't cost them a penny for our help, our education, or for the products that we are able to put together for their team.
Gabe, if you can hear me, talk a little bit about your professional. I know you're a professional athlete. Love to hear about that.
Yeah, I've grew up playing sports of all kind, and definitely took basketball to the next level. Was able to play overseas. I enjoyed my time in Austria, Switzerland, and Germany. It's love the European lifestyle. Definitely, it's been 20 years since then, so definitely got the dad bod going on now. I like to tell people I'm a plus size model now, right? I'm a shape, not in shape. So don't go and get it fooled, though. I will still get out there with my kiddos and give 110%. I'm not going to take it halfway on my kids. They got to rise to the occasion. So we practice and play at full speed. And so I might not be as lean as I used to be, but I definitely have enjoyed traveling the world and playing sports, I think sports teach you how to handle disappointment, right? Because you lose a game, you gave all your effort and it just didn't turn out your way, or working with people that you might not like in personality and having to perform immediately, like getting off of a bus or a plane or whatever it is. And I think that you grow a lot in who you are and how you get along with people. And I think it makes you a better person in the aspect of business, because now you're able to communicate with people in high pressure situations and remain cool and calm and collected, but you're also able to draw a hard boundary of respect. If someone doesn't do things that you don't appreciate, you don't have to take it emotionally. It's business. So you can say, hey, listen, that's not how we do it. Let's regroup and pivot and let's handle it this way. So I think it helps you mature a lot faster. Because you're constantly being watched, right? You have your fans, your parents, and your coaches watching your every move. So it definitely gives you an opportunity to bring out the best in you.
I cannot get the camera straight. We're going to go sideways. We're going to roll with it. What is your favorite sports team?
So I'm grew up in the South. So 100% it's going to be Auburn. I actually changed out of an Auburn polo to put this on right now. But I grew up doing what we call the opposite game. So my mom was a Yankees fan, so I'm a Boston Red Sox fan. My mom was an Alabama fan, so I'm an Auburn fan. My mom's a Giants fan, so I definitely became a Patriots fan. So it's whatever she was into. I was like, let me just pick the team. So that's how I like to roll. So now I'm just into SEC football. I love the camaraderie. I love the fellowship, and I definitely love the cookout and barbecues. Like, that's where I'm showing up at.
Your Red Sox and my Orioles not doing so well this year. Orioles 4th place, Red Sox 5th place. But
here's
it's okay.
The thing about sports. If you look at the teams that I go for, all that does is show you that I'm loyal and have a positive attitude, because I wear my sports gear everywhere. I'm not a bandwagon fan. That's called husband material right there. When you can be loyal, keep going, have a positive attitude, that's quality right there. So I always look at people who they're a fan of, and I'm like, oh, you've definitely been through some hard seasons and kept a positive attitude. So I think it's a good thing. I'm happy to be a Red Sox fan. It means that I can make it 100 years and a curse and still get out on top.
There you go. What's funny, because normally when my camera goes sideways, I know how to fix it. For some reason, it's not doing it. So we could say this show went sideways today because there was so much energy. And so It's the first time that's ever happened. But you know what? Life will throw you a curveball, and you just got to keep rocking and rolling. So Pastor Gabe, has been absolutely phenomenal having you on. Super excited. If you guys need to reach out to Gabe, definitely reach out. He is amazing. And I appreciate you being on today. Thank you for being on.
Yes,
great to get to know you more, and my CMO, my Chief Motivational Officer. So for NRG this week, you guys got to come out to meetings. We've got 30 a week that we run all across the country. We just signed up a new member in Alaska. So we are growing rapidly. Reach out to us. You've got my cell number. It's 443-756-9656. On behalf of Leon, Jay, Gabe, and I, we're going to say goodbye for now. Have a great week, and we will talk with everybody soon. We'll try to get my camera going straight again by next week. Have a great week. Thank you. Bye-bye.